often been asked as to what prompted me to turn to writing, especially with my background. Like when I was a child, I was never encouraged to read. My parents were, I'm afraid, rather Philistine. And to the extent that I was often wondered whether I was mistaken in the nursing home and I was given to the wrong parents. And then to cap it all, like when I left school with my background and in the late 1950s, there were very few choices. So I had to prompt for accountancy. Not my favourite subject, but anyway, I went on and did accountancy. And one of the things that sort of surprised me is that I had to do reports and various audits, and I was told that, that were very readable. But things changed when family business collapsed, and I found myself in, shall we say, straitened circumstances with a lot of time in my hand, because at that stage, it was the late 1980s, there were really no jobs available for men at my age, or women of my age, put it that way. And so I did write a number of articles on social issues, which were published, and but not very little money coming in. And then I wrote some short stories, two were published, but a lot of work, but for very little money. And I wrote a children's book. Now, I had a very good friend, Barbara Dixon, who was very well known and one of the first women journalists in Ireland. And she was really a hard taskmaster to her times. She was so critical that I felt like tearing everything I'd written up and throwing them into the sea. But I persevered. I mean, she did it as encouragement. And then I turned to writing an adult novel, which she liked very much. And then I did another. But the basic thing what I write about in my work is how people find themselves within the changing atmosphere and social and economic atmosphere here in Ireland. And, in many ways when I'm writing, I'm sort of finding myself, if you know what I mean, bringing things up from my past. Now, my work is character driven in that I like to see how people develop and how, as I have, are tried to adapt to changing circumstances. And I'm very much of the mind to write from experience. For example, I had to do a scene whereby my character Elizabeth was attending her father's funeral, and she'd had a row with him and her mind was confused. And for that scene, I thought of my mother's funeral, and I was actually tears going down and running down my cheeks as I wrote the piece. And that's sort of the way I write. I can't write. I can't, as I say, with my children's book, as I've said before, I write according to my imagination. But when it comes to novels, as I say, I am character-driven. Actually, I remember years ago, somebody asked me how I felt when I'm writing, and I said, well, I feel that my mind is sitting in the chair beside me and telling me what to put into my computer. And then I came across an Abkhazian writer, and he said, the writer merely listens to the voice that dictates the manuscript. So that's really why I adore writing. It's got me through some very, very, very bad times. And it's something to fall back on. Even now, I'm sitting here on a very dull, drizzly day, and it sort of lifts the mind. I suppose I'm just hoping, and I'm working to get, hence this channel, to get noticed, because, I think this would have been easier if some very well-known people had told me, oh God, your absolute writing is SHYT. But they've actually said the opposite. So anyway, all one can do, and all any writer can do. We hear like some of the best well-known writers Oh, the one I can't remember in particular, was rejected 34 times. And another thing is important to think about writing is that it's a talent, just like a plumber, a car mechanic. And, there is something in the Abkhazian, what the writer was saying, when you think of Beethoven, who composed such wonderful orchestral work, when he was deaf and couldn't hear what he was composing. So I wouldn't put myself into his category, but I think, I do feel that it's, we all have, well, put it this way, we all have talents. I'm not like an imaginary Oscar Wilde wiping my brow and lying on his face. I'm a writer. I'm just somebody with a talent for writing, like a plumber, as I say. And I hope some of this makes sense. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it really makes sense to me while I'm getting it across. Anyway, I love writing, and hopefully one day you'll see my work in bookshop. Okay, bye.